Good morning, Vietnam! Welcome to the Week 8 Bad Quarterback League video. You might be wondering why things look a bit different around here. Well, your normal host has decided to shirk his responsibilities in favor of whoring around in New Orleans, eating beignets, and breaking levees, sticking me with the task of figuring out how to make one of these damn videos. I'll do my best to give you all the video content that you're craving, but don't expect it to look exactly like Vince's videos. This one will have a lot less creativity and a lot less production value. Vince always starts with, "He's made a mess of it." Well, I'm going to be a little wacky here, a little cracked, a little mental, because I'm starting with Moneyballin' It. This week's candidates for Moneyballin' It were the former host himself, Vince, last week's mess maker, Schroyer, and Trevor Chad Hutchinson McIntyre. Who did the best with their worst draft picks this week? It's Chad Hutchinson! He started 31st overall pick Baltimore and got 63 points from them on his way to the highest score of the week. Vince's Moneyballin' It considerations were discarded because even though he started 4th round Dallas, they had a guy named Danucci who as their quarterback, so that was an easy call to not have him here. Schroyer also started Baltimore in the Caleb Terbush League, but drafted them in the 3rd round, so it's not as impressive. Now let's take a look at who made a mess all over themselves, other than Vince from all that powdered sugar on the beignets he's eating. Honestly, it really wasn't that bad of a week. Only one person scored negative, and he has somehow made it this whole season without being featured, and he's made a mess of it. So I think it's time. Yes, that's right, Steve. You can't be good forever. You've made a mess of it. You went from 1st place to 3rd place, and you went against my advice and started Atlanta. And they had your 2nd lowest score of the week. Shame on you, Steve. Shame on you. We were all rooting for you, too. The honorable mention here goes to Phil, who left 48 points from Philly on the bench. Now, I'm going to use my creative license here to cancel hot topics for the week. Instead, I'm going to go off book and implore you all to watch Ted Lasso on Apple TV+. There's 8 episodes of this show, which you could bang out pretty quick during a 7-day free trial of the service. You might have seen the videos from way back when, but it's about an American football coach that gets brought to England to coach a Premier League soccer team. It's funnier than it has any right to be. Speaking of the Premier League, Relegation Watch 2020. Vince made the right call nominating me for this because I am definitely getting relegated this year. This week I started Chicago and New Orleans, who played against each other, and they netted 0 points altogether, thanks to an overtime game that guaranteed a game-winning drive and negative 12 points. I at least stayed in 7th place, but now I'm 109 points from safety. It's been a good run, but I'm resigned to the fact that the Terbush League is my destiny. Now let's take a look at the standings. In 1st place is Wade Wilson, who's barely holding on to his lead. At least he avoided negative 30 points from Kansas City. Tony Banks holds on to 2nd place, thanks to a big week from the Danucci in Dallas. Chad Hutchinson moneyballed his way to leapfrog Phil into 3rd place. Cade McNown almost made a mess of it and dropped into 4th place. He's still the only BKer to not have a negative week, though. Johnny Football was helped out by me finally giving those midweek benching points to San Diego, or the Chargers, the Los Angeles' B team, I guess. Win had a respectable week again, but he finds himself near the relegation zone still. Another week of shoulda, woulda, coulda for Jay Cutler leaves him in 7th place again. Jonathan Moxon better be studying hard, learning about relegation litigation at Brown University if he wants to stay in the Kirsch League. Speaking of the Caleb Terbush League, I'm not going to edit this, so fuck off. Chris Wenke jumped into 1st place thanks to his big scores from the Jets and Cowboys. Mark Sanchez did the reverse butt fumble and scored 74 points, jumping into 2nd place. Jamarcus Russell had his first negative score of the week and fell to 3rd. After an embarrassing week, Jeff George rebounded nicely with the highest score in the Caleb Terbush League, but he remains in 6th place. Thanks for watching. Now back to your regularly scheduled programming.